I laughed when I said it. One careless sentence, tossed into the air like a joke. I joked, "Do you want to move in with me?" She laughed too. But the next morning, my phone buzzed. "Is your offer still good?" And that's the moment my entire life split into before and after. I never planned to let anyone move in with me. Not after everything I'd built alone. Not after the kind of silence I'd fought for, earned with years of work, failure, and lonely nights. My apartment wasn't just a place to sleep. It was proof that I'd survived. Proof that I didn't need anyone. Her name was Lena. We met in the most ordinary way possible. Same cafe, same hour, same corner table near the window where the sunlight spilled in like it was late for something. She always ordered the same thing, black coffee, no sugar, no milk. I noticed because I ordered the opposite and always felt judged by my own cup. At first, it was just nods, then small comments, then full conversations that somehow slipped past the usual walls people keep up with strangers. She had a tired laugh, the kind that comes from someone who's lived more life than they talk about. She dressed simply, but there was intention in it, like she'd learned not to waste energy trying to impress anyone. One evening, the cafe closed early because of a power issue. We stood outside under a flickering streetlight, awkward and unsure where to go. That's when the joke slipped out. "I've got extra space," I said, half smiling. "You could move in." She laughed, shook her head, rolled her eyes like I'd just told the oldest line in the book. "I'll pretend you didn't say that," she replied. And that should have been the end of it. But it wasn't, because jokes, I learned, sometimes land exactly where the truth is hiding. The next morning, I was brushing my teeth when my phone vibrated on the sink. I glanced down, toothpaste foam still at the corner of my mouth. "Lena, hey, random question. Lena, is your offer from last night still good?" I stared at the screen like it was about to explode. I read it again, slower this time. My first instinct was to laugh. My second was panic. My third was something else entirely. Something warm, terrifying, and real. I typed, deleted, typed again. I was joking. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Before I could overthink it, I sent another message. But yeah, if you need a place, we can talk." Her reply came instantly. "Lena, I do need a place. Badly." That word, badly, sat heavy in my chest. She showed up that evening with 2 suitcases and a backpack. That was it. No furniture, no boxes, just the essentials and a look on her face that said she'd already argued with herself 100 times before knocking on my door. "I can still leave," she said the moment I opened it. I just needed to know someone would say yes. I stepped aside. "Come in." The apartment suddenly felt smaller, louder, like it had been holding its breath for years and finally let it out. We set ground rules like 2 diplomats trying to avoid war. Rent split, chores, privacy, no expectations, no assumptions, no complications. We promised each other we'd keep it simple. That was our first mistake. The first week was quiet, almost too quiet. We moved around each other carefully, like strangers sharing a train compartment. Polite, distant, observant. She took the spare room and kept the door mostly closed. I pretended not to notice how late she stayed up, sitting on the edge of her bed with the lights off. On the 4th night, I heard her crying. Not loud, not dramatic, just broken enough to slip through the walls. I stood frozen in the hallway, heart pounding, unsure whether to knock or walk away. In the end, I did neither. I sat on the floor outside her door, back against the wall, listening, not to the sound, but to the truth behind it. The next morning, she acted like nothing happened. "Coffee?" she asked, already pouring 2 cups. I nodded. We didn't talk about the crying, but something shifted after that. The silence became softer, safer. Over time, pieces of her story came out. Not all at once, never cleanly. She'd been living with someone who promised stability and delivered control. Someone who didn't hit her, didn't scream, but slowly erased her. Told her what to wear, where to go, who to talk to. Made her doubt her own memory. When she finally left, she left fast. No plan, no safety net. "I didn't want to go back to my parents," she admitted one night, staring at the TV without watching it. "They'd tell me I should have tried harder." I understood that kind of loneliness. The kind where staying hurts, but leaving hurts worse. We became a team without naming it. Groceries, late-night takeout, shared jokes that only worked because we were both exhausted enough to find them funny. I started noticing the way she hummed when she cooked. She noticed the way I checked the locks twice before bed. We never crossed a line, but the space between us grew charged, full of things unsaid. The night everything changed wasn't dramatic. No storm, no argument, no confession, just a power outage. The apartment went dark, and we sat on the couch with candles, laughing about how cliché it felt. The shadows danced on the walls. The city outside went quiet. She looked at me then, not casually, not playfully, but like she was searching for something. "Why did you really offer?" she asked. I swallowed. "I don't know," I said honestly. "Maybe I want to see if I could still let someone in." She nodded slowly. "Thank you for saying yes," she said. "You didn't save me, but you gave me room to breathe." Something in my chest cracked open. I leaned in before I could stop myself. She didn't pull away. The kiss was gentle, careful, like we were both afraid of breaking something fragile. Afterward, we sat there, foreheads touching, breathing the same air. "We should talk about this," I said. "Yes," she agreed. Tomorrow. Tomorrow came with consequences. Awkward mornings. Unspoken fears. The realization that feelings don't disappear just because you acknowledge them. We try to be mature. Try to take it slow. Try to pretend nothing had fundamentally changed. But it had. Jealousy crept in quietly. So did vulnerability. I worried about becoming a rebound. She worried about losing her independence again. One night, it all spilled out. "This was supposed to be temporary," she said, tears in her eyes. "I don't want to need you. I don't want you to need me," I replied. "I want you to choose me." Silence stretched between us. Then she whispered, "What if I can't?" I didn't have an answer. She moved out 2 weeks later. Not because we fought. Not because things went wrong. Because she needed to know she could stand on her own. I helped carry her suitcases to the car. The same two she arrived with. It felt like a loop closing. At the door, she hesitated. "You didn't ruin my life," she said softly. "You changed it." Then she left. Months passed. The apartment felt empty again, but different. Less like armor. More like a place that remembered laughter. I didn't date. Neither did she. We texted occasionally. Neutral. Friendly. Careful. Then one evening, my phone buzzed. "Lena, I found place. It's mine. I did it. Me. I'm proud of you." There was a pause. "Lena, can I come over? Just to talk." When she walked in, she looked stronger, calmer, like someone who had reclaimed herself. We sat at the same table, drank the same coffee. "I don't need a place to stay anymore," she said, "but I still want to be here." I smiled. "So, is your offer still good?" I teased. She laughed, shaking her head. This time, she said, "I'm not joking. Sometimes the biggest changes come from the smallest moments. A joke, a question, a door opened at the right time. And sometimes, saying yes doesn't mean saving someone. It just means giving them space to become who they were always meant to be, and choosing to walk beside them when they do." You just heard a story of betrayal, survival, and quiet revenge. If it left you thinking, hit like, share it forward, and subscribe for more true emotional stories that'll stay with you long after they end. Every click helps another story find its voice.